Okay, so today will be my second episode of Season of Discovery, but what I'm actually going to do is the same thing I did in my hardcore playthrough, which was the first episode I just did it, whatever, just to try it, and I guess that wasn't really to try it, but just to do a new character and whatever, give it like one last run. So this is also permadeath for whatever that's worth, but I did do the add-on, and I'm surprised to see that it works, because this works with not only obviously normal classic, and of course there might not be a need for it now because they have their own hardcore servers, but in this context it works with what do you call it, it works with the Season of Discovery too, which I guess kind of makes sense, but I'm just surprised it's up to date. So we'll make a new character so we can do it authentically with that, but then I'm also going to do the thing I did with that one, which was people kept saying, I made the hunter and I got it to like level 6, and then people were like, well, you should use the add-on, so I'm like, fuck it, fine, I'll restart and use the add-on, but then I may as well make it into a character class too, which I tend to always do these kind of unique hybrid sort of formats. And so the point with that is I'm going to do a paladin. As much as I clown them so much, I'll still do a dwarf paladin, but I'll do one with no abilities, where, like I was saying, how I can only use them in like a dungeon, like lay on hands or bubble, but I'll take it one step further. I can't use any abilities, period. So all I can do is auto attack, and that's it. And so I can't even use the seal or judgment. So I guess there's almost no difference at all. Ha ha ha. But that's literally what it is. I just want his hair to be white, basically. White or gray. Like that one could be good. I wonder if the name's like bugged out where it won't process that it's available because you just had a character like 5 seconds ago that had it. Oh no, I guess it doesn't have that issue. Yeah, we'll do a paladin with 0 abilities, and the only time when we can use them, so like we're in RP, like we're not blessed by the light, so we're like a paladin in name only, or like a warrior in paladin clothing. So basically we feel like we're an outcast, and all we can do is use our melee and our physical strength, and so we can't use any abilities with the light, period. Not heals, not attacks, nothing. And so we'll literally be a melee only character, and then kind of like my melee only hunter, but even then we had more abilities, which you normally would too, because you have way more than whatever shit a paladin would have, which is, again, basically nothing. The only difference maybe is there'll be other new abilities like Crusader Strike that we saw alluded to in some quests, like a level 2 quest that said you get like an enchant gloves with a Crusader Strike or something. So it could be that they added new abilities here for what that's worth, but at least as far as I'm concerned, the only time I'd be allowed to use abilities would be in a dungeon or in a group, and I'd only really group for dungeons or PvP or something, and it's still permadeath, so like there's an incentive to that. If I want to use Crusader Strike, or if I want to use heals and stuff, I can only do it by like drawing power from the group. It's like a spirit bomb or something, right? This is like an RP explanation. So I'm not innately blessed with the light enough to use light abilities, except when I'm in the presence of other people, and I kind of draw on their power in order to be able to do it. And so that's kind of the way that you would rationalize it. So this should be working, and so it'll obviously be that as well. So I started by saying I couldn't use lay on hands and bubble. I'll just watch the tutorial too, I guess, or whatever. I'll just talk over it because we already seen this a million times. But like we're doing this fresh, but whatever. We know their story, dude.
Recently, however, the dwarves unearthed a series of ruins that held
yeah, they like archaeology. But no, basically we chat all over Paladin so much, so now we have to face our fire. It would be interesting to try to do a character like this though. So the point is there's an incentive to try to do dungeons like dead mines and stuff, and then I can finally use my abilities. And I'd like to even be a healer because I somehow enjoyed that with whatever brief time I did play a Paladin. And so, we'll do it still kind of like an RP playthrough and read all the quest texts and stuff. I didn't really do hardly anything in the first episode, although part of that was to blame on the fact of the server actually shut down like an hour into it, so I didn't have enough time to do it. I was planning on doing that a little bit longer at least, but welcome to Hardcore Classic. Okay, I get it, dude. Yeah, I love the fact that it actually works with this, and this server isn't nearly as bustling as it was before. But this is Season of Change, right? Like, how would I know? I guess it would have to be, right? Because I just saw that other character that I was just playing as. Yeah, we're going to make a clear point here. We won't have any abilities on the action bar from the very beginning. So it's a completely authentic melee-only paladin. Again, the only exception being in a dungeon. And the trade-off with that is because it's a dungeon, then I can't... I'm putting myself at risk, because if the group wipes, then I could die and lose my run because of that. So I am allowed to do multiplayer stuff even as much as I clown that. So I'm like kind of doing an anti-clown, self-clown experience. I always trash Paladins. They're such a bad RPG class. They suck. They have no abilities. They're auto-attack, melee only anti. And so I'm playing into that. Not just because I'm playing a Paladin, period, but also because I'm really going hardcore with it. And then also by like not being able to use even what little shit you would have. But also, I make fun of the whole multiplayer thing. Like, what's the point in doing dungeons or PvP in a permadeath context? Not that this is meant to be permadeath, but like even in hardcore, people would do that. If your group wipes, then you die. But that feels so dumb because it's not really your fault. Or on the flip side, you could just be getting carried through stuff, right? So either you're getting carried by people or you're getting held back by people. So it's not really a raw experience that you feel like is to your credit. So that goes against my whole permadeath standard of how I like to do things kind of solo. I won't be able to use the mailbox. I won't be able to do stuff like that anyway. Anything that would benefit from other people, but I would be allowed to do dungeons, and I'm almost going to make a point to try to do them, which I don't even know exactly how they work in this mode. Like when you can do dead mines, and the levels are sort of squished down a bit. Like we saw the level squish in retail, so it's the same thing here. You get to squish it to like level 25 for now. But probably people are already speed running through it, or it might be fun to twink in battlegrounds and stuff. So the one thing I'll say with that is that because you're in a group, then you would be able to use lay on hand and bubble, right? You would be able to use everything. So either I can use nothing by myself aside from my brute strength, a paladin who's kind of not, you know, totally akin with the light and sort of is a pretender and is lacking in their power. My midichlorian count isn't high enough, something like that. Or I have only abilities that draw on other people, so again, we'll see when we get to a dungeon and stuff like that.
Great to meet you.
Aren't you a sturdy looking one? Okay, a lot of this I just read recently, so I'm not gonna necessarily do that, but once we get past some of these first ones, I will, which I really didn't do very much. Get some wolf meat. You bring me wolf meat, I'll make sure you have some gloves. What else was there to pick up here? Probably nothing right away. Then you get the, or yeah, that'll be the other playthrough that I have to do at some point. A first-person click to move, skill shot only ability type of run, like the binoculars things in Dark Souls, where you play the whole game with binoculars like as a mage, and you can shoot your spells out, and you have to manually aim them, and you can roll away and stuff too, in first person. So it makes it like a first-person shooter type of game. So this will literally be the experience, and at some point this is going to become very difficult to do, because you won't even have the seal and you won't even have heal. So I have to wonder how that's going to go, but we'll find a way to make it work. So let's see what we can do. This is going to be very silly, but again, it wouldn't be that hard normally because you could just twink out your gear, but I won't be able to do that aside from maybe getting carried through dungeons. So I might develop a bad reputation, or there might not even be that many people anymore. Everybody's already speed ran through the game, so what point is there in playing it now? Like, that's how everybody plays everything like this nowadays. And we still have our rules as far as the bags and stuff are concerned. Like, we can't destroy stuff except in a fire. Like, I have all kind of rules. I don't even remember all of them, but yeah, this will redeem my other series. And you might say, oh, haha, it's a Paladin, but at least I'm doing it like a little bit different format, like with the multiplayer emphasis. So I don't know exactly how that's going to pan out, but what I could always do is bubble Hearth out of there is the point, right? I'm not going to die. So if I die out here, I have to deal with it because I have no escape, right? I can't do anything. But if I'm dying in a dungeon, I can bubble Hearth the shit out of there over and over, and I'm fine with it. So I'm just going to clown everybody. Even in a battleground, I could bubble Hearth out of a battleground to just say, fuck you, dude, because why do I care? So I'll have like one life per thing. So I'll be putting myself at risk by obviously doing that, but it's actually the perfect class to play in that context. Like, sure, I'll do multiplayer stuff and do permadeath and do all these other formats in one, but don't blame me if I bubble Hearth out every single time I'm in trouble. Or whatever, even if I just use lay on hands or something to get out of there. I can do both in the course of one fucking encounter. I don't know what all kind of crazy stuff they did. Like, oh, they turned Black Fathom Depths into a 10-man raid, or like all kinds of random stuff. But yeah, like, how would that even work? So like level 25 would be the max level, and I don't know for how long. Probably not for long enough, because they're going to Wandering Swordman spawn south of Ironforge. Is that like a rare spawn, or is that something specific to this mode? Yeah, this is gonna be a tease. Like, it's the ultimate taking the piss for a Paladin hater, because it's like, oh, we have Crusader Strike now in vanilla. Wow, we actually have an activatable ability that we can just do in the game. That's the first ever. And then I'm not able to use it because of this. But no, I would make a point to try to be a healer, actually. For whatever reason, I enjoy doing that as a Paladin. We'll use like a lower rank of Holy Light, assuming they even let you do stuff like that now. Right, unless they fucked up spell ranks and stuff like that too. The same way that like as a mage, you would use a lower rank of Frostbolt just to get cast faster. So it would still do the same effect. I like stuff like that, but obviously people feel like, well, that's somehow bad design or something, but that's like clever use of game mechanics. The one thing we don't have to worry about is money or learning spells, because there are no spells to learn. Like we still could do it for the sake of a quest or something, but this is how our taskbar is going to look, bro. It doesn't seem that bad now, but you have to understand how shitty this is going to be later. It almost doesn't seem practical, like how you would ever be able to do that, but maybe you can. Or you just have to kind of over-level yourself a bit. This is going to be like the boar experience, like where you just get from 1 to 60 while only killing boars, but even that's not as bad, because there's no limit on what you can use that way. Which somebody actually tried to do that, but it requires you to go in like dungeons and stuff too, like RFK, RFD, or whatever.
You got my attention.
Aren't you a sturdy looking one? That's the same thing. Bit of trouble, claws and sharp bits. But no, we are going to read through everything just once I actually get to that point. There's no restriction on gear. Well, I mean, there is as far as what I can, you know, where I can get it from, but that's where it'll become really impactful if I just get like a really good weapon. Or if I get like, what is that? Like Smite's hammer or something. What was I using on that one Paladin? Like something from RFK, but that wouldn't come into play now. I had like some Twink Paladin. So he was like using, was it 19 or it must have been 29 then? It was like some two-hander from RFK. It's like an axe. I can't remember the name of it. Soldier Valley mail delivery. Don't surprise you. Do a favor for me. Stack of letters came through. I always like to do it in first-person view too. I don't have time to send them along.
Watch your back.
What if I just said I don't have time either? So fuck you. Give it to this priest. While you're helping me out, this rune is given to pass on to you. Take some time to read it when you have a chance. I'm thinking it came from the Paladin trainer Bromos.
Safe travels.
Okay, pick up this one.
Well met.
Hope you're here to lend a hand. After the last truck attack, we could use help. I hear the buggers have been popping up all across the land. Seems Cold Valley is no exception. They've been spotted all over the hills to the southeast, over the frozen lake. Even as slow as the quest text scrolls, you might think, oh, you know, it scrolls too slow. You should just have an instant. Even if you were to try to read it out verbally like that, it's actually, you have to read pretty fucking fast to keep up.
What's on your mind?
Or yeah, we even had rules as far as what we could sell to who. Like this guy is a general supplies. Like we could only sell, I don't know, I can't remember. We can sell generic stuff to him, but we can't sell like gear to him. You have to be careful with what we pick up for that reason too. Like this has to be sold to some sort of cloth or other sort of vendor, right? General good stuff is just like generic, whatever, random things that he could maybe repurpose into something else.
Be good.
Yeah, we'll save that first person thing for later. The problem is like what class would have only skill shots? It could be like a mage or something like with Flame Strike, but it's kind of hard to explain what that playthrough is meant to be, but it kind of is a cool idea. Bringing up bag space. Some of this stuff is, yeah, you have to burn it in a bonfire. That's actually how I free up bag space, or you just have to not pick stuff up in the first place. You can't just destroy it in thin air. For whatever RP purpose I would say. Like, we can't just litter and drop it. That would just be wrong. Relics of the Light. Relics of the Light can be found across Azeroth. These relics in particular, Librams have guided our order existence since its founding. So this I don't really understand what it is. An instant strike that causes weapon damage 75% and regenerates 2% of your maximum mana. Like, I don't know what that is, but it doesn't matter because I won't necessarily do it. I won't use it. I can just do the quest just to see what it's about. Not a second too soon. There's much to be done in Cold Ridge Valley and beyond. I'm gonna need your help as much as you're gonna need mine. The humans have taught us a great deal. Okay, fine. About being paladins. Now even when I say aura and stuff, like I can't use anything. That's the point. It doesn't matter. But let's look at what we'd be missing out. Right? You can't use heals. Fuck you. You can't use. Wait, it's really level 60. Oh no, that's rank 2 because you obviously start with it. You know, you would think you should be able to use that, but you can't. Or no, I mean you should learn it because you'll learn it for groups. But I'm not. Well, that's actually a little bit confusing though. You can keep it turned off, but whatever. I'll only do it when I'm ready for that, which I'm not yet. What was the other quest here? There was at least one I picked up, I thought. So, like, I talked to all the trainers and stuff, so I'm not going to do that again right now. Let's just try to get back to that epic... Oh, here we go. Diablo fucking pet crossover. No changes, right? As much as I like the interest that they've had in this, I don't like the way they've done it. It's been kind of insincere because at first they would have said, oh, you know, we don't want to do it. Then it took them so long to come around to doing it. And now they're just going to milk it and exploit it in every way that they can. Oh, there must be a vendor in here. For gear or whatever. Weaponsmith. Just to repair my shit. Fuck you, dude. We're not doing a group thing yet, at least, because now... Armor should be maybe specific only to the type of armor that they sell, let's say, if we want to be that picky with it. Or you know what it really should be, that I never established that. It should be that level of armor down. So because he's selling mail, I should be able to sell him everything. But no, actually I didn't do it like that. This is cloth, cloth, cloth. You should have to sell that to a cloth vendor specifically, which there maybe should be one. Let's see. But yeah, this is gonna be the greatest challenge of all because like you could do a warrior this way too. Like what's special about being a paladin? There's nothing notable because we're never going to use anything that makes us feel like one. Yeah, it'll be the ultimate clown cheese show of just like fucking yeah, we can do dungeons all right and it's still permadeath. Wow, it's so hard. And then anytime we're in trouble, we'll just bubble hearth out of there. I don't care. And just leave the group. I don't give a shit. Let's actually try to make a meaningful amount of progress this time. Please don't shut down the fucking servers. We'll play at 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning. Try to avoid that, or to the only time that I have. So this isn't really like a fixed series slot. So this won't be like a regular series. It'll just be whenever I have time for it. So this is just a random time that I happen to, whatever, like I'm staying up all night, I guess. So I did Arc, which is my Thursday stream, even though it's like Friday morning. Then I'm doing, or the middle of the night more so when I was doing that. And then I'm doing this, just randomly, not a fixed series slot. And then also, like I barely have enough time to do my normal streams. Then after this, we'll still do another one, like PvZ Heroes and PvZ Hard Mode, brief little session of that. This is just a weird thing, but at least it's the first longer stream that I would have done in a long time. Wow, look how good we are. Look at how we're face rolling through this right now. Yeah, it's to punish you for playing solo, I guess, or to encourage you to play, to do dungeons. You would think it should tell you at some point, like when you're eligible to do one or something. Like logically speaking, we should be able to do dead mines at the same level that we normally would. And then the only difference is they turn BFD into a raid, or like, I don't know how any of it really works, but I have to make sure I don't break one of my rules inadvertently, but that's why my whole hotbar is empty too. There's just nothing to worry about. So the Rockjaw Trogs are probably back in the, whatever, where you start. We skipped ahead to the harder to kill ones because we're so good. See, probably people would probably ridicule that. Like, why are you doing this like permadeath? This isn't meant to be permadeath because that's not the format that they're telling us to do. But like, everything I do is permadeath anyway. So those would be like my 3 titles for the first couple episodes. The first one is the Godfather 3 reference. Just when I think I'm out of Azeroth, they pull me back in because I thought I was done after that last series. But they keep doing random shit like this, so I have to check it out. And then this one is going to be obviously Paladins. A new character class, Paladins, with no abilities. So basically there's no difference because I've always been so critical of them. And then the next one could be like I forget. What was I planning on making it? Oh yeah, who needs hardcore classic when everything you do is permadeath anyway? Which I guess I could have used that for my other series too, but have to make sure. I feel like I'm gonna accidentally do something that I'm not meant to do. But how could I guess? Because I don't even have it on my taskbar. Yeah, I always like doing stuff in long form in the sense that, you know, like really take my time and do it slowly. But that makes it very difficult to play games like this. Or even like when I upload it, that, you know, people might say, oh, you should edit it down or something. But I don't really believe in that. Like, I don't really want to do that. I always believe, you know, just like what I prefer to watch too. Like, I'm not going to watch somebody's full 3-hour playthrough of them just dicking around in Dunmoreau necessarily if I was to watch something. But what it means is you would upload the whole thing and then you can always skip through it. That's the whole beauty of it. That's why it's almost less suited for stream content. Like, I wouldn't do it, you know, like I wouldn't expect people to watch the whole stream, or I wouldn't expect people to watch the whole VOD or whatever I upload, but it's at least nice to have the whole thing if you do, or you can skim through and watch whatever parts of it you want. If you want it to be like the full long form aspect of the series, of the experience. Right, so every moment is there. It's very authentic. That's always important to me for permadeath purposes too, so you can see the whole run and all the ups and downs and all the close calls, and also see that it's authentic. Like, oh, I didn't skip or cheat or whatever. Not that that really matters as much for something like this. Like, oh, I have the add-on to keep track of it. Or like if my stream crashes, people would question that. But who really cares in that sense? But 2 to 3 times played 11 minutes. Wow, new world record surely. Well, except the light. Stolen Libram carried by a Frostbane troll. Like, I'll do it just for the quest, but it doesn't mean I have to use it, right? Engraved Gloves Crusader Strike. That's such a weird random thing. Now, I wonder if that's baseline for every class. Like, every class would get an Engraved Gloves new ability that they've never had before. Or is it just... I guess the way they phrase that quest makes it seem like something else, because... Okay, maybe we have to start reading the quest now. I can't remember how far I really got. I didn't even get to level 3, so maybe I didn't even do any of this. And I'll keep this on in case something's different. Like, I don't know. As if I would even have time to do a dungeon either. Like, it's gonna take all fucking day. The way that people are such slow clowns and stuff. Or maybe not, because they'll speed run through it. But see, I could complain about the amount of time it would take, but I could also recognize that I wouldn't want to put that much time. Or no, I still wouldn't want to rush through it, even then.
How are you?
If the problems we've had here are indicative of what's happening anywhere else in our lands, by Magni's beard, we have some troubles ahead of us. I can only hope that the King and the Senate are taking steps to deal with the Trog threat President Trog pose. No, we're gonna have to go and fucking do that for them too. And Loch Madon and stuff, dude. They don't give a shit about the Trogs. They're worried about the Dark Iron Dwarves and other shit. Although maybe not yet. You would almost think that this is how the game would have started. Like, oh, the level cap's level 25, and then we keep raising it up to 60. So as much as people say, oh, parts of the game maybe weren't finished when vanilla came out, like especially some of the Horde zones or some of the later game zones, the fact is, it was still way more feature complete than like what we're seeing with this. Just to show like this is what it would have felt like if it was really unfinished. Not saying it was perfect, obviously, but what else did I want to do here? We can sell him mail stuff at least. Or fuck, I fucked up. We're not allowed to buy back stuff either, but
Keep your feet to the ground.
we didn't really buy it back. We just messed up.
Hey, good.
Like, I don't see how that benefited me, but that's just to show. A refugee's quandary. We drove the Trongs out of Nomergon, but then it went also horribly wrong. Now our home is completely irradiated, and we gnomes have been scattered. Oh yeah, we're just a dumb dwarf. We don't know these big words. That's why I'm just role-playing as that. We've been scattered all over Dunmoreau. In my haste to get away from the radiation, I lost all my personal belongings and tools. It was the trolls that got them. They stole my chest, my box, and my bucket of bowls. They took them back to their camp southwest of Anvilmar. I'm no adventurer. Could you find? Sounds like you've been on quite an adventure to get the fuck out of there, though. Could you find my things and bring them back to me here, please? Bring Felix's box, Felix's chest, Felix's bucket of bowls. Yeah. Make Felix Lengel reference. Haha, XQC. This is XQC. But no, it's like, yeah, surely they'll get right on that Nomergon thing, right? Sure, like how the Magni will get right on the Trogs. You won't be waiting like 6 expansions before they finally do something about it. And even once they do, apparently the city still isn't back in Dwarven or Gnome control. Like, I'm playing in whatever, BFA or something, just flying around the world exploring, and I'm like, let's see what the new city Nomergon looks like, because surely they took it back, and they hadn't, unless you have to do some story event to see that. But you would think it would be like a capital city that they finally got. The same way that like even the Senjin Isles is not really like maybe a major capital city, but at least it's somewhere that you can go, right? And it's like all friendly NPCs, and you can do quests and stuff there. Or like some of these quest NPCs become such a big deal. Like, wow, Zalazane is still there, and he's still causing such trouble. Like, he's a level fucking 9 random dude. He's not that big of a deal. Although maybe I almost died to him in the hardcore classic playthrough as my troll. That might have been my first time actually doing that too, because no, I don't know. It might have been, or it might have just been like, you know, because I would have played a character at least up to that point before, but maybe I didn't do that exact quest or something. Yeah, I literally didn't do fuck all, that means. The last episode. We read that, we did that, we have that. A lot of it's just gonna converge on the Frostbane trolls over here. That fucking Diablo pet ruins my whole classic experience. I don't want to see that shit on my screen. Even when I try to escape Diablo. And literally my channel art, something I've, you know, ranted about so much, or criticized the genre. Been some of my most disliked videos and takes ever. Like criticizing the Diablo, my long-standing reason for not liking Diablo games that I've said a couple times. The whole anti-immersive, zoomed-out perspective, quantity over quality of enemy types and loot. Let's talk to the dudes at the camps here. This send me on a wild goose chase. You go here, then he sends you to the other camp. Can you deliver my mail for me? Mail carrier class roleplay rather than a fucking melee only paladin. Still more exciting and interactive, am I right? Greetings, Paladin. Fine day for hunting. Wouldn't you say? I've been having more than a little luck with boars myself. And then he kind of contradicts himself by saying, well, could you help me with the boars? We're getting overrun. You've been or is he saying something else? Let me see. I've been having more than a little luck. Well, if you've been having luck, then why do you need my help with them? You have something for me? Thank you. I've been waiting for these for some time. Unfortunately, they aren't all for me. One's addressed to Grellin Whitebeard. He's not too far away if you'd like to deliver it for him. We not only have to deliver the mail for these clowns, we have to sort it for them too, because they don't know who they're even sending what to. If I remember correctly, it's down to the southeast. No doubt he'll be eager to get his mail. Nothing like a day of boar hunting. Though here in Coldridge Valley, there are so many boars it almost takes the fun out of it. No need to get them charging. They're all angry and ready without any help. In fact, they've been so many boars in the area, it became dangerous for me to do my daily hunting. Long story short, if you could help me, but is the hunt really worth it without any danger? You're never truly alive until you look death right in the eye, as my mother said in my roleplay from the Hunter Classic series. Path of a Hunter RP series. I should maybe label some of these series as RP so people don't get so pissed with what I'm trying to do, but I don't really feel like I have to qualify it. Like, it's just like I'm playing Season of Discovery, and there's many ways to play such a thing than just speed running through it. Or maybe I would still do it in the same amount of time as other people. I just don't, you know, do it for as long as you really need to do.
What's on your mind?
Greetings, lad. I'm Grellin Whitebeard. I'm here to examine the threat posed by the growing number of trolls in Coldridge Valley. What have I found is a bit troubling.
See you soon.
Is there something I can help you with? Excellent. It's been a while since I received word from Ironforge. Actually, I should have probably...
Your feet on the
Fuck.
ground.
My time is short and many matters press on my time, and I hope that your investigation of the trolls will not be one of them. Therefore, I will allow you to use my authority in dealing with the trolls in whatever fashion you deem necessary. More so if you're able to find an expedient solution, Magni Bronzebeard.
Well,
In other words, I don't give a fuck. I'll just let you deal with it.
see you soon. Be good.
My brother Senir and I were sent to different parts of Dunroad to investigate the threat posed by trolls. The Descendant has his hands full with the Trog, so they've no need for further annoyances. Well, they have their hands full with a lot of other things going on in the rest of the world too. From what I've seen, the trolls aren't well situated here in Coldridge Valley, mostly the southern cave. I'd say that the army will not be necessary. A few strong arms should be more than enough. Perhaps you'd like to assist in the endeavor. I'd have authority to offer compensation for your help. I was kind of ridiculing that line, like, well, good thing you do, because otherwise I wouldn't fucking help you. Like, what, do you want me to do it for free?
Keep your feet on the ground.
Jesus Christ.
Break to me.
From what I've heard, the trolls hail from across from the Frostbane clan. I'm afraid I don't know much else about them.
Safe travel.
Yeah, I love that too. Like, okay, they hail from the Frostbane clan, but we don't know what the fuck that is. As a lowly dwarf who's just going about our day, like, not everybody's a lore expert like me, dude. Tell me about the Frostbane clan, then. Give us some lore. So kill some whelps, which again always makes you think of the whelps like a dragon whelp, right? That you would see like in Red Ridge Mountains or something. The boar hunter, small crag boar slain, and then this is also going to be with the trolls, and even this is with the trolls too. So we'll do that in a second. Let me actually go back and do something for a second. This mic has a little bit, this is like my whole other different setup, so it's a little bit more uncomfortable. So I'm trying to get like a pop filter for this mic, my old Blue Yeti, which I never think I even used one before. But this one has like a bit more plosives and stuff than my other mic. So sometimes when you say B's and P's and stuff, you can kind of hear it pop a bit. Or at least I noticed that. Maybe I'm just too much of a stickler for it. Nobody's really complained about it, but this is like my old style of doing things though. Which again, maybe my voice or my style of delivery isn't good enough to actually do that, but I never liked Dun Moreau that much, but this music is fucking incredible. Especially like this part, or maybe it comes later, I don't know. And this one isn't like reused too much, right? Like where else does this music play? Some of the ones are like way overused where you hear it in like 50 different zones, but this one is pretty much just for Dun Moreau and maybe like 1 or 2 other zones. I can't remember. Or yeah, let's do something different. So this is one of my longest streams in a while. Not that it would seem like that if you're just watching the WoW part. Like obviously I did ARC before, and then I'm gonna do my PvZ. So I'm doing like 3 days worth of streams in one shot for me, just because whatever, I have a little more time now, and it's like the middle of the fucking night that I'm doing it. But here I get to show off for when I'm playing WoW my Hearthstone art, although it seems weird to use that. I do have a couple WoW pieces of art. Let me actually look for them. Like we'll do a little just chatting interlude like while I eat or something, ASMR eating, even though I hate to do that. Like this was for WoW, like to show that my pet died and it was permadeath pets. But it wouldn't make sense to use these for this particular character or this series, because this was like only for the Path of a Hunter WoW hardcore classic kind of thing. Like my pet died and it was permadeath for the pet too, not just for me. And so what that basically means is just that, you know, then I use that as a way to RP a little more, to say like, okay, now I have to drink alcohol like the whole episode my character, make use of that mechanic. So I have to spend all my money and waste it, so now I can't learn spells because I have to drink alcohol to get over and grieve over my pet. It was like a good organic way to RP within the mechanics of the game. Right, like what possible purpose does drinking alcohol in WoW serve? There's really not one. But this gives it a function, like, oh, now you have to do it, and now you have to waste your money on it and things like that. And then this one was, but the point is I don't have like an overall WoW piece of art that I could use, so just anything in the Warcraft universe there like kind of fits. This one's Yu-Gi-Oh! Obviously, let me look through some of these. I had a couple WoW ones. Oh yeah, here, this is a good one. This could almost work because at least it has an Alliance tabard on there, but it's like Alliance player plays, or Alliance player talks to, Alliance player who killed every NPC in Orgrimmar talks to them for the first time, because that basically means like there's going to be like a shitty fucking just chatting category, but we may as well try it. Fuck it. I don't do this kind of thing often where I'd even have the ability to do this, so. But yeah, it's like Alliance player who fucking only played as Alliance, I can't even remember. Who killed every NPC in Orgrimmar talks to them for the first time, so it shows like I'm kind of a traitor. It's not exactly the best piece of art. This is a perfect example of like a good idea, bad execution, right? Like I like the idea behind the picture because it's like, oh, you know, it's kind of like a good funny concept that, oh, you're a traitor, double agent, you almost look too much like a night elf, but you're supposed to be actually a troll. So it doesn't look the best, but it gets the idea across, and it's a good, fun idea behind it. This is the same thing, long-form postulate, fucking Yu-Gi-Oh! Overlap. That was more for my debate format. This one's like if WoW was a detective game, like a noir kind of game. So it's like Chinatown. Either you bring the water to Orgrimmar, or you bring Orgrimmar to the water. The whole conspiracy with, you know, what's his name? Fucking John Huston's character, Noah Cross. He's like trying to siphon the water from whatever, the farmland and stuff. But yeah, if it was a detective Chinatown version of WoW, this is what it would be. This is pretty good. For some reason, some of these got less views than my. I could use like a generic thumbnail, and that gets more views than ones like this, because maybe they don't know what the fuck this is. They look at it and they don't know it's supposed to be WoW or whatever. But yeah, that's my character on the left, obviously, and then you're just making fun of Oryx, that he looks all sophisticated, but he's all he's thinking is Zug Zug. Yeah, this also is a reference to that little pool of water in Razor Hill that I never could figure out based on the map of where the fuck it is or what the fuck it's supposed to be. I still don't know that even. Here, let's actually get rid of this and look at some of the other ones. So this is also a Hearthstone one, basically the same thing. I like this one better. It's a little more clear, but I use this one for WoW for whatever purpose, just like I was using in my original Hardcore Classic episode, just to get some variety with it. This one kind of has a good story behind it. Is like I'm only allowed to play Skyrim once a year, and so it plays on my motif of basically, I'm almost doing this ironically, like let's see what some of these streamers who stream for such long periods of time and they end up eating food on stream, like they're so entitled. Like, who would fucking do that? You have to be a total fucking clown. Like, who wants to listen to you eat? Like, XQC would do that or something. It's like, oh, well, I'm streaming 12 hours. I'm streaming all day, every day. So what do you expect? I expect that you to take a break and use an overlay and go eat and then come back, or take a break or end the stream. Or it's like when he's having domestic arguments on stream. Like, well, Adept or Sammy or whatever's, of course they're going to be there because we live together. But that doesn't mean you have to show the fucking argument that you have on stream or a Discord call. Like, there is something weird about it, and then they complain, or like, haha, they'll call chat parasocial. You're parasocial. Also, let's stream our domestic argument on Discord, on live stream to 100,000 people. Like, are they parasocial, or are you just a fucking clown for showing all that stuff in the first place? Or like, what kind of content could you do or not do to encourage or discourage such behavior? There's plenty of streamers who don't do anything that have to do with their real life, like even Hikaru. Hikaru gets fucking married behind the scenes, and he doesn't have the need to call people parasocial because he's, you know what I mean? Like, he got married and nobody even knew about the relationship. Meanwhile, you're streaming a domestic argument on Discord. Like, what does that show, dude? Like, obviously you can emphasize or de-emphasize certain forms of content. Sure, people are always going to take it too far, like paparazzi, harassing celebrities. We get it, but there's still ways to minimize or maximize such behavior. This one I like. It actually wasn't for chess. It was for a short story. But no, mainly I wanted to show the WoW ones. I guess I can't find any of the other ones. This is one of my shittiest pieces of art ever, but it still gets the point across for what Magic is supposed to be. Like how much I love dinosaurs and green and stuff. You wouldn't even know it's Magic based on what you're looking at, though. Even the Wisp looks much more expressive and better than the one in the game, which is literally just like a fucking dot, which I hate that stupid ass character anyway, along with the tutorial. What else is there? That's just a random one. This is just the, I forget. Most of these are not going to be like really unique pieces of art. Oh yeah, this one's pretty awesome. Why is that one buried in there? And these are two kind of one-off things. This is just like a series I do almost only once a year. I guess I can do it more sometimes, but like the whole Red Dead Bounty Hunter thing, where you go and you try to get as much bounty as you can, and if you die you have to reset either at 0 or at least at where you started. So it's kind of a good little joke, obviously, like, oh yay, bounty hunter. I'm not trying to hunt people who have a bounty on their head. I'm trying to hunt for bounty myself to try to see how high I can get it. So that's always kind of a good series. And then this is obviously just me clowning on Marvel Snap because of how much I hated it and hated the whole 6-turn rule behind it. So yeah, this could be like the equivalent of my just chatting thing. Like I'm just talking about random shit, show off all my channel art. I don't know. I have more than just those too, but these are just the ones I have on OBS for any reason that I would need to use them. So this one sort of represents the beginning of me sort of playing into my motif of my channel art, which of course you can see in like my AFK screen, like which one? This one, right? Like it's the Diablo doing the shush. So I have that motif for like the Skyrim one, where he's like shushing and saying, haha, it doesn't mean we're shushing you or that you only have one life. The way that the other one does, it means that you can only play this game once a year. So I could make this for like any of my playthroughs where you like take my character or the main character, like Cole Phelps or LA Noire or whoever, like GTA 6. I wanted to do that with GTA where I won't even say what some of the ideas are, but that's the one thing I almost miss doing, or being able to do at least, is like I could play a game first playthrough permadeath, but I could also do it right when it first comes out. So like when GTA 6 comes out for like $240 or whatever crazy amount it's going to cost, of course, you could literally do that where I could go in and do that. The only problem with that is, let's say I do a world first clear, I wouldn't want it to be like rushed. That's some of the problem that I have. Even if I had a lot of time and I did it like a crazy series, which I certainly couldn't do now, right? I barely have enough time to do anything. But even if I did that, it wouldn't be world first, even if I didn't die, and even if it was a first playthrough, because other people would be speedrunning through it, whereas normally there would be a chance. So it's just because I like to take my time and not rush it, that's what I kind of dislike, right? I don't want to rush it, but I also do feel like a world first permadeath clear is very much up my alley, because you know, I've done that before in the context of, again, for me it could be a first playthrough. For other people it would be, you know what I mean, like they might be trying it over and over. I'm just playing the game, and if I die, I'm not even going to play it. The series would be over. So it's different for me, because it's not just a world first, it would be a first playthrough as well. And you might think that's redundant considering the game would have just come out, but it's not, because people are like that, where they'll just be trying to zerg it through. So it would be almost like an incidental world first clear, but I obviously would love to do that if I had more time. I don't know actually even when it's coming out. I try to avoid reading stuff too much about it, but it's almost impossible to avoid reading it. The main notable thing is just that, oh, you know, it has like the biggest budget of any game ever, supposedly. Clearly funded by all the shark card shit. I love that about the first episode too. It's like I don't always do a first episode that's super short and get to level 2 in like an hour and the server shuts down, so I get the most unproductive anticlimactic episode ever. But then even when I do, I have to re-roll and make the character again, because like even with the hardcore class, just because, oh, using the add-on or whatever, and also just that I want to rebrand it as like a different character class. So I wonder how this is going to go in the long run. I'll worry about the multiplayer, you know, aspect to this playthrough, kind of keep it fresh and have some other format to it, but that's not going to come into play till later. Let's go ahead and deal with the stupid trolls. This is just the kind of game that makes you wish you had more time. I almost said the same thing about chess, because it's so fucking time consuming, but in a way maybe that's the blessing in disguise. Let's go ahead and do the boars first, and then we can obviously take care of the trolls. Very fitting to fight boars. That's such a boring class as this fucking stupid Paladin. I mean, look, dude, I think I'm pretty right in saying it too, because there's nothing really intrinsic about it as far as like your actual activatable abilities, right? Paladins can't really do anything. They just stand there and do seal judgment, seal judgment. I'm talking about like the core leveling experience or the overall gameplay point. It's like some aspect of their class was missing, and then some of that was added like in BC. So in a sense, there's a certain novelty to it, yes, that you can say, well, it's kind of cool that you're like the support buff type of class. Other MMOs had classes like that, arguably like EverQuest and the Bard and stuff. Not that I'm an expert, but like, you know, you can understand all that, but that doesn't mean that it was a good class or that it wasn't unfinished. I think anybody could see Paladins and Vanilla were clearly unfinished and just garbage. Not, again, in terms of quality, but in terms of their function. Because, again, what I'm doing now, you might say, oh, it's silly. What about all your abilities? But this is basically what you'd be doing anyway. And you might say that's true with other classes too, but I don't really agree, because you have like a number of utility things that you can use potentially at any point. Even if you're not actually using them, I have to be sure to go in for the full health here, because I obviously can't heal or do anything. But the point is that, yes, like, oh, you just spam frostbolt the whole time, but then you at least have a ton of other stuff that you can potentially do. You can blink, you can flame strike, you can AoE, you can blizzard, you can frost nova, you can kite, you can, like, there's more stuff going on. Here it's literally just the best you can do is judgment seal. I think I have something better than that. No, I have nothing. What the fuck? Thought I got some mail thing, or maybe that'll be a reward coming up. Let's at least try to do Coldridge Valley this episode. We can go to Keranos, rest there. Or yeah, we had like a bunch of resting rules too, which I actually, well, I would say I didn't follow, but it doesn't matter because this is the first episode. Like, we have to rest in a different, oh, that could be really hard. We have to rest in a different location every time because it has to be like a building, and it has to not be an inn because I can't get rested experience. Like, all these kind of considerations to have. Look at this. I'm already like 20% of the way there, right? If I get to level 5. No runes. Or maybe that's the whole mechanic that everybody's using, period. Everybody will have runes as like a new way to get abilities that you wouldn't have had otherwise, I guess. Or is that... Yeah, it must be like that for everybody. Because, I mean, I haven't looked at any other class besides the Paladin. It's a very weird decision to make, actually, to play this class of all things, but at least the way I'm doing it is kind of conducive to... Like, it could be any class, pretty much, or it could be a warrior, at least. Like, you can only auto-attack. But, again, why would it matter? Like, as long as you can wear the best armor... It'd be one thing if you could at least use the seal, but... I'm kind of taking it to an extreme here. And surely you would be able to do this, where you can get max level like this. The only problem is you'd have to fight stuff much lower than you, or you'd have to have decent gear somehow that you just get from either drops or, I don't know, somewhere. It's like a multiplayer focused, themed format, hard mode, hardcore, permadeath, season of discovery, first playthrough. First Paladin playthrough, RP, like everything fucking mixed in one. For some reason I wouldn't pick up stuff like that much when I was doing the other run. I guess I felt like I didn't really want to sell it, or I didn't have room for it. I had a lot of issues with space that way. And I guess that run basically ended as soon as my pet died, because then I felt like I was just totally dejected and fucked up. So the goblins took me out there. They didn't kill my body, but my spirit, if there was such a thing. That's one of my favorite old RP quotes. It's some absolutist character that I would often, you know, have that as an archetype. Like, very harsh, very unforgiving, very meritocracy based. And he's like, your mind is weak, your body is weak, your spirit is weak, if there was such a thing. So not only is he bashing him all the way, but even that he's denying, right, in that the belief in the soul or a spirit that somebody would have, which is kind of something that's important to that other character. So he's completely tearing them apart. Your mind is weak, your body is weak, your spirit is weak, if there is such a thing. Like, he's not even letting you have that moment. Like, oh, your spirit is weak. No, your spirit is so weak that it doesn't even exist, but yet your mind is so weak that you would need to believe in such a thing, right, to have a belief system to give you some peace of mind in the first place. It's like you're insulting somebody who's religious or whatever, right? Just hypothetically, and you're saying, oh, you would be such a failure in the eyes of God if your God even existed. Like, you're not even letting them get insulted. You're tearing down their whole belief system too. It's just so brutal. Yeah, that's what a lot of my RP stuff would come down to too, especially in story games like in Phoenix Wright or something Danganronpa. Like, oh, I'm the elitist victim blamer. I'm like bashing everybody like, oh, you're such a moron. How could you let that happen, or whatever? Because it's just like you're holding everybody to a high standard, and when they're not, when they don't live up to it, you just clown them like, how could you be so dumb? You deserve to get caught. You deserve to get killed because you're such an idiot. Like, it doesn't mean that you're actually saying that literally, like if it was in real life, but you're just holding them like you're smarter than that. How could you let that happen, right? You're better than that. Your potential is so much greater. like even Junko, spoilers I guess for Danganronpa, like that was my primary love interest at the beginning. Something about her, she was so smart, she was ahead of everybody else, we were kind of on the same page, and then she gets herself killed stupidly. It's like, I almost don't feel bad for you because you knew she was better than that. So it's actually a compliment, not an insult, by saying you deserve to die for your stupidity because you're not that stupid. It's just like cause and effect. Yeah, that comes out oftentimes in those kind of playthroughs. Like, so it's almost like I'm RPing, not as the character that I'm playing as, like Phoenix or whoever, some dumb clown like that. I'm actually RPing as like this sort of separate entity, like over their shoulder, like the devil over their shoulder or something, is what it almost would feel like. Where like I'm just this elitist victim blamer, like just harsh. It's hard. I'm trying to think of a good example. It'd be like you were super hard on everybody, like you suck, you deserve to lose if you can't figure this out. Everything is just like very on point. Like you have to just be really trying. Phoenix is such a moron. How can he not figure this out? Von Karma's better than you.
You got my attention.
Actually, I can go back to my leisurely hunting now. He says it very strangely.
Off with you.
Okay, level 4, new record. And then we get to probably go back to base, sell some of this shit. Then we can do all the troll stuff. Normally, you would learn a spell here. And that's actually kind of sad in a way. The one time that Paladins actually get, Paladins hater gets their grand comeuppance at last. The one time I play a Paladin, and the one time that they actually get some other abilities, presumably, that actually make them interactive, like Crusader Strike and stuff, I don't get to use them because, you know, we're doing this format, but that's fine. Like, even with a hunter, people would question that. Like, you've never really even played a hunter, but you want your first experience to be like melee only, where you can't even use a bow. But it was so fun because, I don't know, I love that. It's like I'm making my own character class. Which you can do with anybody, obviously. Melee only mage, wand only mage. I was thinking about that arcane only mage pretty seriously too, but I obviously don't have enough time to do all this shit. I guess I could have done that here. I don't know. This one I just kind of decided on a whim. So to him, I'm only allowed to sell stuff that would make sense. Like, I guess he does sell. I better keep those though. Maybe I'll need them. Like stuff that isn't gear, basically. So this all I would sell to somebody who's actually sells the same kind of gear, right? Which is kind of like the Bethesda style or whatever. Like they would have to have a use for it that would justify them wanting to buy it in the first place. I do like that this works seemingly with this. I don't really understand how they, well, maybe they updated it for that purpose, but I thought you'd have to get like a separate one just for this, or they wouldn't even have it. Wow, only 36 minutes played. I guess I was AFK for a little bit in the middle there. What does the warrior say again?
No.
Paladin who thinks he's a warrior, but we literally are, dude. Literally me. Armor, so is there any kind of plate would be the question. That almost looks like plate, or not plate, mail. That doesn't say. Okay, he sells shields, so that should clearly justify it right there. Let's try to be careful with what we pick up though, because this is going to get a little difficult. Is there really no cloth or leather vendor? How could that be? What about all the mages and stuff? You have an armor, but you don't have this? He doesn't sell anything like that. I guess they just look down on stuff like that.
How are ya? See you soon.
This dude is... Oh, there he is, right there. Priest trainer, cloth and leather armor. I sell the finest cloth and leather garb this side of the valley. Not a very high standard. I mean, oh, so I'll just go to the other side then. Go here, go here, go here, go here, go here, go here, right? Those should be all valid. Cloth, cloth, cloth. This one, again, it doesn't say anything, so theoretically it's not male, even though it looks male. Sell that. Everything else should be good. Yeah, I don't know. That's the whole beauty of this, too. It's kind of like a blind first playthrough of it as well. Blind first playthrough permadeath. And I'd only get the one chance, and I will do dungeons or whatever I can do, I guess, whatever how toxic the community might be. At least in a group context, I can understand that. But when you're doing stuff solo, people still get so mad just by, like, watching you or whatever. Like, if you, whatever, just post a video of you just playing a game like normally. And normally people would never mind, like, oh, he's just playing Breath of the Wild or something. But then with some games, they'll get pissed, like, oh, why aren't you doing this optimal thing? Or like, maybe I don't know how to do it. Maybe I'm just dumb and you're a genius, or it's not hindsight bias. Or maybe I just don't want to. Maybe I just want to wander around and do whatever I want. Like, I don't get it. My standard is always like, okay, if I die, then you can shit all over me, because I would do the same. I would do worse to myself. Like, not just from the act of it happening, of course, but figuratively, I would shit all over myself. Like, I'm just bad. How can, you know, a permadeath failure speaks for itself, but I always am very hard on myself that way. But if you don't die, then, like, obviously whatever I'm doing works. Like, that's all you need to do. So people act like you have to do all these things, like, in a meta way, which you don't at all. Yeah, this guy randomly has a quest. Scalding Morn Brew Delivery. I'm thinking of, like, Morning Glory Dew. God, I was supposed to get this delicious Scalding Morn Brew to Durnan Fur Cut. We have Morning Glory Dew at home. Morning Glory Dew at home. Where whatever the item is that I can't even see yet. To Durnan Fur Cutter inside Anvilmar a while ago now, but I had to deliver one to Graylin here first. I'll never make it to Anvilmar before the brew run cold. You look fast, maybe you can make it. I look fast, dude. I'm a fucking stocky dwarf with a two-handed weapon. You fast? Have you seen the pace of my playthrough, dude? I look fast. This cup will only stay hot for 5 more minutes, and Durnan didn't order chili corn brew, so get going. Anvilmar is to the northeast, a settlement dug into the mountain. Oh yeah, I've never been there before, dude. Thanks, and don't forget to bring back my mug. Oh, wow.
Safe travels.
Deliver before it gets cold in 5 minutes. You don't typically have quests like this in a starting zone, do you? Where it has a timer? Or maybe there's always one just to introduce the mechanic. I don't really remember that too much, though. So we'll go back yet again. And then we'll do the troll stuff. I don't know what that box is for. If it's for some other quest that I haven't gotten yet. I don't hate Dunmorrow, it's just not my favorite kind of zone. I see enough snow in real life where I live, but no, it's just, you know, Elwyn Forest is kind of sensory deprivation. It's a good zone, obviously, I love it, but I've done it way too many times. I haven't done this zone really much at all. I mean, pretty much all the characters I played were Alliance, and even more so, they were only human that I actually got to any meaningful level. I always clown gnomes and dwarves and stuff. Or no, gnomes and trolls, because they're like the welfare races or whatever. Just like mooching off the orcs and mooching off the dwarves.
You got my attention.
Sell the finest cloth and leather. I am Duncan Fur Cutter. Durnan Fur Cutter, you have something for me. Calling Morn Brew quest item. Okay. Make sure we read the flavor on the items too. Ah, good. This will hit the spot. Allow me to take a small break while I enjoy the scalding Morn Brew. You don't need my permission, dude. Bring back the mug. Holy shit, bro. Average dwarven day of life. Now that hit the spot, nothing like a piping hot, nay, scalding Morn Brew on the cold winter's day to warm your cackles of your soul. Here you go. Be a pal and take this empty mug back to Nori for me, would you now?
See you soon.
Drink the whole thing that quickly, dude? Like, we literally have to sit there and wait for him to drink it. What if he's like me? He sips it like a fine wine. I just want to sit there and if you could see me drink, I'm picking up a drink. And the character's sitting there for like an hour, sitting there for him to slowly sip it so I can fucking take the mug back, dude. I'll go kill the trolls, come back, and he'll still be drinking it. Dude, that's an analogy between me and the average player base of this game, let's say. Even regardless of how much time I actually have to play, right, you can see that issue. Like, oh, I only play once a week for like an hour or something, right? Might be all the time I have, but that's no excuse. I still would take my time and play it my way. So that guy who drank that whole drink in like one sip is not sitting back to smell the roses and sipping it like a fine wine. So he's like the average player. Just zerg through it, just get through it. Me, it's like I actually want to enjoy the experience, so I'll take my time with it. Not saying people don't enjoy it like that, but it's a different view. Like, you see it as a zero-sum thing. Like, you're just trying to get to the end. You're just trying to beat it. You're just trying to do everything so there's nothing left to do. Like, that's cool and all. And even I'm something of a completionist, but there is a sense, like, just take your time and enjoy the journey. And then if you beat it, if you do everything, then fine. If you don't, it's fine. Like, there's nothing. It's like an ego thing. Like, you're not proving anything. So on one hand, people say, oh, this is a 20-year-old game and it's so easy, and been there, done that. Also, they want to zerg through it and brag about, oh, haha, I did an Axe 40. Look how good I am. Everybody else who didn't do exactly what I did in the same time or whatever is bad and you suck and haha look at my gear, it's like either it's impressive or it's not. My standard is a little different. Like if you had done it the first time, like when Nax 40 was current content in vanilla, okay, then you have something to brag about, but then you wouldn't need to, because you know, those of actual merit let their actions speak for themselves. Everybody else who talks shit is going to be, you know, just doing it to overcompensate. So all these people who talk shit online, it's like they've never done anything, they're just clowns like anybody else. So I don't know. But no, it's like, yeah, like sip it like a fine wine versus do it nice and slow, regardless of the amount of time you have or anything like that, because, again, it's about the journey, not the destination. But no, I hate that one implication, just to rehash my rant once more, is just, like, because something is old, they act like it's old news. So like, why even bother doing it? Like, oh, why would I want to go see Casablanca or Citizen Kane or something, some old movie? It's so old. But if you've never seen it, it's new to you, right? So just because something is old doesn't mean it isn't new to you if you've never experienced. So it's the same thing with WoW, but not even just with WoW in general. Like, okay, I obviously played WoW a lot, other people have played WoW a lot, but you didn't play every class or do every raid or do everything in it that way, right? So in that sense, there are aspects of it that are new and fresh. Maybe you didn't read all the flavor text. Maybe you didn't do every interaction. It's hilarious that people view it that way. Like, oh, we've been there, done that. This game doesn't have enough content. This game is such old news. With one of the games that, you know, any genre, any MMO, right, any game within this genre would be like that, where there's so much shit to do, but you would complain that there's not enough to do or that it's old news or over and done with. It's actually the opposite, that there's such an overwhelming amount of stuff to do that people almost give up trying to do it and just resign themselves to, oh, we got to look through and metagame and do everything like that, zerg through it, because otherwise we'll never get it done. So there's almost an insecurity with that part I can almost understand. But I trust the scalding Morn Brew got back to him. Do you remember to bring me back my mug? No, I just came here to rub it in your face that I let him keep it. Bring back the mug. Excellent. You'd be surprised how many couriers... Yeah, see, that almost made people think that that's how I am, though. Like the elitist victim blamer thing. You know, like, oh, if you die, it's your own fault. That's always what I say in my fucking permadeath runs. You know, it's a harsh life perspective. But that's just kind of what comes out there. Sure, clearly I'm not like that in real life. I just do that in video games. I'm not an elitist victim blamer, but I play one on stream. You'd be surprised how many... couriers I meet forget to do something as simple as bring back the mug, but I'm not a fucking courier, dude. Mugs don't grow on trees, or so they tell me. Here's a little something for the effort. I guess if it's made of wood, it could be. Thanks for your help again. Is that really worth 50 copper? You couldn't just drag your lazy ass 5 seconds away on the other side of the map. So we have to kill the troll whelps, we have to pick up his tools, and then we have to do one other thing, which is like get something from one of the trolls that's like for my Crusader strike thing, which again I wouldn't even use, or I will use it in a dungeon at some point, and I'll lay on hands and bubble the fuck out of there when people are gonna fuck me over. So it doesn't mean I'm not gonna learn these abilities, but I have to be very judicious with keeping them off my taskbar here. Yeah, trolls are like the OG race, but this is maybe a symbolic reason like why they didn't conquer the world the way that they could have and been like the dominant force over all the time, right? They were there even with the fucking with the old gods and stuff. Wow, you pick up the first one. Learn a new ability after unleashing 10 seals on your enemies. Well, I guess I won't learn that then, and we'll have that item forever, huh? I'll put it in my bank. That's so weird. Like, what is this mechanic? Librum of Judgment. Now, is that not just the one that has to do with the quest? Like, learn spell Engraved Gloves Crusader Strike. Coverstone Librum carried with Frostbane Troll. Follow its guidance. Okay, that's kind of cool. So maybe it'll keep doing that. Then cast 100 and you'll learn another new ability and stuff like that. But no, this shows you why trolls weren't successful, at least on an worldwide level that they could have been early on. That they had the advantage of time and being here ahead of everybody else or whatever. The fact is, they had like all this tribal warfare, which there's some real world analogies that can come from that. So like the Frostmanes kept to themselves and wanted to be here, and the other trolls, there's some in STV, and so because of the tribal warfare and infighting, they were never able to consolidate into one great empire or one great army. Even with Zandalar and even with all these other ones, it's like if they had all worked together, they would have been unstoppable and they would have ruled the whole of Azeroth, not in like an evil way, even just they would have had that central sort of power. So when you get caught up in tribal warfare, you leave yourself as a sitting duck in a historical context to other invading forces, right? You have to first have a good consolidation, and then you can fight over whatever little things. But in a way, that's elitist victim blaming yet again. It's the trolls' own fault because of the tribal warfare and lack of consolidating a central government that they ended up not being the dominant force in the world when they could have otherwise. On one hand, I'm praising them and saying, oh, you were so, you know, or at least recognizing their advantage. Oh, shit. Now, you really think you can do this when I shouldn't try to do it, but... Or no, I could probably take him, I mean... Like, why take it? Yeah, fuck you. You better run. Ragged cloth boots, 16. Yeah, that seems like it could be a fun mechanic. Maybe we'll try it some other day on some other character. It seems a little silly, but I'm not going to judge the Season of Discovery by that alone. Or again, I could do it, but even the progress, oh, that'd be silly though. They'll be like, why the fuck are you doing your Libram quest in the middle of a dungeon? But mainly what I would do is probably just, I want to heal anyway. So every once in a while, I'll be healing the tank. It's like, why the fuck are you doing seals in the middle of combat? Oh, I have to do my Libram quest. Sorry, I couldn't do it because you see I'm doing this format. It's a long story. Watch my stream to figure it out. Holy shit. Auto attacking is fun, which unironically it can be in games like this. Right, like it just to see the progression of your character and feel the satisfaction of that, but that was one thing I was disappointed by, though, in EVE Online. I was expecting, at least in the modern day, they would have updated it to this point, but maybe that people would oppose that or whatever. I thought you'd actually be shooting the guns and lasers of your ship manually, right? Like it's a space game. But no, it's auto-attacking. You have a spaceship, but it's auto-attacking like any other MMO. That's not at all what I expected. I thought you'd be flying around and shooting shit manually and everything like that. So this part is good. I don't know where all his tools and shit are. They could... Oh, there it is. There's one of them. Felix's box of Magic the Gathering cards that he went to the store one day and bought. Haha, I saw that clip. Like... I don't like the phony nature of some... Like... I don't know. You might think, oh, haha, you're just hating on something, but... I like a lot of these people, but something happens once I guess they reach a certain level that everything starts to feel fake, right? Like it's just content, it's just expendable. And even they would say that that wasn't the case at the beginning. Like, no, I'm doing this because I have a passion for it, because I actually enjoy it. I'm not doing it just for money, but then it starts to feel like it's just a different vibe, right? I'm going to make you into Mojo. You would think it should almost be the opposite. Like, you're doing it for money until you make money, and then you can relax and lay back and do whatever you want. But somehow people don't see it that way. That's a weird insult, but okay. Like, you're gonna make me into Mojo. Like, that's not the worst thing you could do to me, I guess. At least I'm serving a good purpose. All these stereotypes that some of these races are based on in this game that people could potentially find offensive, I guess, just because people find everything offensive all the time. Server seems kind of dead right now, but maybe it's just the time of day because it was so packed the last time. We should actually look on the thing for what, yeah, if I play another Alliance Mage, it would have to be a gnome because I'm not going to play a human again. Like, it's just too much. Like, even a Paladin, I maybe would normally have played a human. Yeah, as far as our hardcore classic or whatever, I don't even call it hardcore because before that there was no even add-on. Oh, fuck, you ninja'd my chest, you clown. If you can you actually say the other C word? I almost just said it. You clown C. I won't say it, but that's how mad I was at her doing that. That's such a dirty thing to do. I guess I should have just taken it though when I had the chance. Because we don't even have a cloak on. What was I saying? If I that frostball animation looks different or something, doesn't it? I should know, being the resident mage expert. I've done, obviously, I mean, I've leveled the mage from 1 to 60, obviously, just my original character. But then the other 3 I did was obviously a warrior, priest, and a rogue. And then I should have done a hunter. But since I at least attempted the hunter, I won't do a hunter again. So now we're doing Paladin. So if I play Classic WoW in the future, which hopefully they'll keep it around, but who knows what kind of gimmicky stuff they're going to do with it. The fact of the matter is that that could almost be a rule too. Like, don't kill a respawn, but it'd be impossible to keep track of that over the course of time. That's the kind of thing I would use add-ons for. You can't use the same mining node twice. We'll be like a very blank slate character. Like, we won't do professions. We won't have abilities. We just have nothing. We are literally a pure fucking beat stick clown. But what was it? I keep forgetting my train of thought. You would be able to play the remaining classes. Like Shaman, I've never really played, right? I mean, maybe I made like a level 10 of every class just because I got bored and whatever would dick around like that. But Shaman, Druid, Warlock, and who am I forgetting? Shaman, Druid, and Warlock would be probably the other three, right? Oh, Shaman, Druid, Warlock. Wait. Shaman, Druid, Warlock. Am I not forgetting one? I'm so fucking tired I can't even remember. World of Warcraft Classic classes. I feel like I'm forgetting somebody. Just as far as like which ones I've done. Okay. Druid I haven't done. Hunter I at least attempted, failed. Mage I technically, well, whatever. I played it enough. Shaman. Yeah, why did I think there was another one? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Expert on the game, by the way. Wait, but there's 9, but I feel like I've only done 5. Maybe my math is wrong. I've done Warrior, Priest, Rogue. Oh, because I'm counting. Okay, I'm counting the ones that I didn't do, too. Then I obviously didn't do Mage and a permadeath thing, but I just played it. Then I didn't succeed as a Hunter, but I still did it. Like, I'm still counting that. And then now we're doing a Paladin. So that is 6. Okay, I was just confused because I was like, I've only done 3, so how could there not be more than that? Which, I mean, I say only 3, but I mean, there does take a while. Yeah, I've forgotten more about this game than most people have ever known, maybe, but I always would try to at least play it like that a little bit. Not saying I never looked stuff up or obviously would take in borrowed knowledge from other people, but generally speaking, I didn't like to do that. And I hate that implication because people would even say that, like, in, you know, oh, in raids, like, you don't want to waste everybody's time, but also I don't really care. Like, I'll waste my own time just doing whatever I want, whether it be, like, I want to make certain things harder. I want to make, you know, like how I'm doing this. You might find this incredibly boring, but you don't have to do it. It's just my choice. Even as strange as it might seem. We have a couple more things to pick up from here, like the box and the... Why they gotta screw his shit all over the place? Now it's almost like we'd be in a group, so it's almost like I could use an ability, but... But at least... Yeah, oh, these animations do look different. Or maybe I'm just... My graphic settings are different somehow? That didn't look like... I don't know. Something seems off. Maybe I should pay attention to that a little bit. Let's see what it'll look like. But I do like this whole level capping stuff for a little bit. The idea that... See, that looks normal, kind of. What is that first thing that you're doing? That looks like such a conspicuous animation. Oh, you just run past that shit? Not that I want you to help. I thought you would kill something else, huh? Rogue. Look like a priest, dude. Okay, so you just have to pick up some shit here. Like his other box and stuff. I don't know actually where it would be. I don't want to aggro too many. I don't want to have respawns. Yeah, that's where other players can fuck you over. They'll kill a bunch of stuff and you'll think it's safe, and then it'll respawn. At least if I kill it, I'll know when it should respawn, and I kind of got it in my head, right? But kind of fighting stuff too much at my level here when it should always be below. The rule of 2. Always fight things 2 levels lower. Never fight things 2 above you. Never fight 2 things at once. All those kind of things that are good to follow. Even though this was starting off as... Yeah, see, now here I won't know the respawn. Fuck. like the rule of or I was doing like almost a Star Wars fanfic roleplay type of thing, like, oh, the light side of the force is weak with me, that's why I can't use any of these abilities, and so I have to figure a way to, you know, survive without it. The force is not strong with me, to make sure we don't go to the dark side. We have to suck the lifeblood from other people to be able to use our holy spells without their consent, the way that Goku fucking takes the spirit bomb at the beginning of the... Later in the series, he keeps asking people, but at the beginning, he'll just suck the land dry. You'll see him, like, sucking the streams and the deers and all this kind of stuff dry for energy. And it's like, oh, cool, you can just do that. You're doing it for a good cause, so I guess it's okay. Frostmane Novice. Oh, discovered Dun Moreau. Nice, dude. Never been to such a place before in my life. And why is it just here? Yeah, nice, dude. 6 damage versus 3. You really think it's worth it to cast that shit? Not even putting the whole debuff on me? Holy shit. Okay, we gotta be careful though, because these respawns are gonna be coming. And I don't know exactly... because this is the thing. This is exactly how you die as an expert in permadeath runs in this game and in gaming in general. Like, you would aggro that and then something would respawn behind you. Then you'd have to run all the way out of the cave through other respawns, right? I'd rather just wait and do it all over again. Where the fuck are this guy's tools and stuff too? You know, the fact that he aggroed that is going to cause a problem. Like, it's always other players that fuck it up. Or like the escort quest guy. That's what got me killed on my hunter. I couldn't believe how much of a clown he actually was. If you get like 2 respawns and you have to run through other respawns, maybe he'll actually drop one of them, but I don't know. I'm just scared of the respawn situation. That's the only thing that could get me in trouble here. This is the best character class idea that I've ever come up with, where you literally just show the true meaning of being a paladin. But I like the twist of it, which we'll probably show at some point later. Wouldn't actually take me all that long to get to level 25, so it's not that big of a deal, but I'll have to see what dungeons are being done, or I guess I could look that part up just to know. Like, well, you'd think you should be able to figure it out more organically, but I don't understand where this guy's tools are. Maybe they were outside. Gotta fight in weird spots like this, so even if something does respawn, it probably still won't aggro to you. Let me actually read that quest again. I don't know what the fuck's going on. We drove them in my haste to get away. Could you help me find my things and bring them to me? Could be a little more specific as to where the fuck they actually are, and I wouldn't mind, but... And it might be like, oh, where they picked them up and then you gotta wait for it to respawn, but with the first one, it didn't seem to be the case. We'll probably have to kill this named NPC for a quest later. Should I dare to look that up? Like what level everything? I mean, you would think it'd almost be the same. There shouldn't be any like, you know, even if you say, oh, Black Fathom Deeps is a raid. Well, I don't know how that works, but now Akumai was like some big servant of the old gods, so it almost feels fitting that it should be more than a mere 5-man boss, of course. I'm filling up too much with just the food and stuff for now. But yeah, even PvP. That is actually a hilarious thing. I can do battlegrounds, and if I'm about to die, I'll desert. So I'm doing a permadeath hardcore season of discovery thing, and I could use all my abilities in the battleground because you're in a group setting. But I can't die. That's going to be such a funny thing to look at, actually. Like, didn't Athene have some sort of delusion of that? Like, oh, I'm never gonna die, and every time he would get in trouble, he would, you know, he would bubble out, and then one time he didn't, and it was like a dramatic moment. Like, wow, that's the first time Athene ever died. I remember maybe that was just like exaggerated, but... Riveting gameplay, as usual. I'm really confused actually as to where any of this guy's shit is though. I guess I could keep just fighting my way through here. A pat is what's really going to get you in trouble though. Pat combined with Yeah, I shouldn't even try to kill this guy. Unless he has one of his things, I don't know. Or there was like that crazy moment where some NPC was up there and then came down in sort of a weird way. What is he just running through, dude? Or you bot? How's he gonna do this? He's gonna die. I'm not gonna help him. He's dead. Let's actually watch. Or what the fuck? He's twinked out. The god. And of course that guy didn't aggro to him. I underestimated how badass this random rogue guy is. They're not using a shitty format as much as mine. Not that I can't take like 2 of these either, but he is level 7. What? Now, it can be dangerous sometimes to do this. Or you know what, I should almost be able to use this stone form. Because that's not a paladin ability. But no, I think we'll keep it raw. See, now he'll have some crazy shock ability or something and kill me. And there won't be anything I can do about it. I don't even have to kill this guy. Yeah, but that's actually a good thought. Why wouldn't I be allowed to use stone form? There's actually no good reason for that. That's just it. Wait. Oh, that's just a nature. I won't do it just to keep it so raw and pure, but I'm gonna end up dying looking for this clown stuff, dude. Where the fuck is it? Shows you I haven't done the dwarf areas that much, because even if, as much as I've forgotten about this game, I didn't, I would know the Elven Forest quest like the back of my hand, clearly. It's making it so confusing because I'm trying to... Look at that, Sergeant. These people are gonna get fucking rank 1, rank 14 as a fucking level 25 twink fiesta. I always did love twinking, but I wouldn't always do it like, you know, super optimally. Like I would just do it, you know, you have a decent weapon, like even that Paladin. I had like that weapon from whatever, that axe, and I did it again at like level 19 with like Smite's Mighty Hammer. I don't think I even had like crazy enchants or anything on everything, so I wouldn't like totally optimize it to be the best possible best possible twink. I would just do it, you know, a little bit. Just have a good weapon, good couple enchants. That's it. Then you had some of these god tier twinks who are like on another level, which is cool though. I do like it in that context. Because even that's like one of these unique formats that I would do. Just, I genuinely have no idea what's going on. What did I pick up? I don't know if it's even meant to be in here. Let me... Maybe we'll come back. I can always fight my way through that again. Farm experience here. We found one of them like out here, I guess. Or no, oh, maybe they did take them. Maybe the last one would be inside of here. Because we got one by that camp, one by this camp. It's just not very clear as far as what, where exactly they're meant to be. It's not even that I missed this. I think somebody else just picked it up before me. But it's funny how some of the best games of all time have the worst player bases of all time. They turn it into something else, which is fine. I mean, it can be many things to many people, but okay, we got to watch for the respawns because we kind of want to play into that a little bit. If I can just... I'd rather just wait and fight through it than to try to rush through and mess something up. So all I really need from here is the quest, but I'd like to see the whole place too. Like fight through it all as like a mini single player dungeon experience, like I always call it. You kill this guy definitely because he's a... Oh, fuck. Already invalidated run. Because you helped me. Oh, look at this person carrying. Look at this power leveling, botting, and you can't even get to level 25 in an immersive fucking sense. You gotta have somebody run you through something. Can't run you through a dungeon, so they'll run you through this instead. Okay, there's nothing there. I'm so used to items being in that room because like there's that little whatever. There's something in the pick in Duratar, Valley of Trials. In my alter identity, in my past life when I had a dream about being a troll hunter, like how Douglas Quaid or whatever, the guy in Total Recall, dreams about being in Mars with some other chick. Even though he has the most beautiful wife ever, and whoever that actress is, Sharon Stone. In that movie, she looks especially good. Yeah, that's how you know. If you're with Sharon Stone, you know something's up. This can't be real life. Okay, I don't know what I can do here. You just have to... I'm literally gonna fucking spend the rest of my life here, whether I die or whether I just waste time, because their padding movements are a little bit concerning, though, because it's just going to be very unpredictable as time goes on. Always got to be paying attention. I did fuck that up when my pet died. So see, even there, I can see like what caused me to die, but it doesn't mean that, you know, like it's my fault. But I can at least identify, like, I was looking in the wrong direction, and then some pack came from behind, so I should have been looking in the other way, and I would have seen it coming, maybe. Although it was kind of around a tight corner. At least you would have seen that, oh, a pat's coming, I can get away, or I can do something. I was kind of too comfortable in tunnel vision and looking the wrong way. Sometimes, of course, things are like scripted to aggro together, which this might be the case, but it wasn't before. Or maybe, okay, dude, I don't like this idea, but problem is also when these clown humanoids run away. Trolls seem to have a greater sense of honor than that, or you're just not giving them time either. But it's not like you have a slowdown or a stun or like any fucking abilities, because you are a paladin, and that would be true even if I wasn't. Like, you know, that's pretty much how it would go too. I can't remember the name of that axe from Razorfen Crawl. So I must have twinked twice on that character. I had like a level 19 paladin, and I was using like Smite's Mighty Hammer or something like that, and then I did it again at level 29, and I was using that axe, I think, from some captain in whatever, RFK. Captain Razor Flank or something. Like I can remember the name of the boss, but I won't be able to remember the name of the item. It almost surprised me maybe that you could get that at such a low level, because, you know, I think of RFK as being like maybe a little higher into the 30s, but that's sometimes how they start. They'll start off with like the first boss is 29 and the last boss is like 35 or something, or like how Oldemon is like that. The last boss is like 50 plus. That's a way to artificially inflate difficulty. Like, the boss isn't going to be really that much harder, or I mean, it'll still be elite, but just everything's elite. But they would sometimes scale it by just saying, oh, well, it's higher level, so therefore it's harder, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. And you can say they do that in raids too. Like a raid boss is a skull, but somehow that's still a little bit different, right? You could be mitigation captain and everything, but the way that skulls behave sometimes in a raid setting is a little bit different than the way they behave otherwise. I genuinely don't know where this is. I guess I'll look on the camps on the outside, but I did find my way through the whole cave, aside from that one part that's like below this, and I wouldn't dare to jump down. At least now I feel like more in control of my domain, so to speak, because I get to, you know, be a little more in control of the respawns and stuff. It would make sense that one of them would be in here. Maybe somebody took it also, and I have to wait for that to respawn too. It's probably just in that one big room in the beginning, like I thought it should be. Be careful, don't aggro too many things at once here. Human priest. What the fuck are you clowns doing, man? Level 25, which might not seem like a big deal, but that's the best you're gonna get here, dude. I don't understand this quest. Completionist quest run. I have to rest in like a different location every time and everything. They're totally botting, dude. And why you gotta be in those fucking fancy clothes too? The little Deviant Delight, or what is it? I used to love those things. I would always use the noggin fogger and stuff. Uh-oh, you're gonna get a respawn. Stealthy Paladin, who needs abilities when you can just do it manually. Grouping, yeah. Is there not an item in this place? That's my only question, dude. I don't see one here. So the only other place I didn't go to, assuming it isn't respawned or not respawned there, is going to be the... What is it even called that I'm looking for? Felix's chest. Oh, here we go, dude. It's not like I'm trying to kill a steal or get help or anything, but this is what ends up happening. You don't have a choice. Non-consensual multiplayer experience. In an always online game that you're held hostage to. That's the whole reason why there's so much hype. Oh, nice. Took me long enough to get that. How much space can be an issue. It took me forever on my hunter to get those, I swear to God. You might question why I'm leaving that on, but just in case there's something specific to Season of Discovery, which it really doesn't seem like there is. See, like, just by simply playing it and playing it blind like this, in a way I kind of like, it's not even very clear what's different. It hasn't told me anything in the game. You'd have to do it all from external resources, which they probably, of course, expect you to do, because everybody's just a wiki, Andy, whatever, but... Just watch a YouTube video of it from all these content creators. That this is clearly what this whole wave of stuff is about. Not just that it's a good game and you can just play it. Not that the two are mutually exclusive, but there is something a little bit weird about it. So I did kill this guy, but I didn't go all the way, maybe. And I'm getting a little bit nervous about doing this, but I guess I could just farm out experience this way doing it. Something's weird. We found a chest, but it's not the chest that I was looking for. This guy doesn't drop it, so... Unless it's in that cave over there, I have no idea. And now you might have to fight like two together, so I just won't be able to even do that. I guess I can come back later, because I just can't figure this quest out. Makes no fucking sense. Like, we've been through the whole dungeon, like, multiple times. I better not aggro those two together. The only place I haven't seen is that. Maybe I can go around and not even fight this guy and go this way. Sneaky, sneaky. Although I'm a little bit nervous about that. Oh, come on. How you not aggro from that shit, dude? What am I supposed to do? Use a ranged ability as a paladin? Use a throwing weapon? I'll throw a book at you. Throw my fucking lever. Oh, no, 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 no. Now, technically, forget about that guy helping me. I could have gotten out because... Right? He should reset. He would have reset anyway. I didn't need his help. Let's see, like, what level are these people? Level 9? Maybe I should... You know, I just don't play the game enough. I was going to say maybe I should raid lead and try to do my own BFD thing and all this kind of crazy crap, but... I would never do stuff like that anyway. I would do it more like... I'd be kind of laid back and just like I would help organize stuff, and I was good at kind of resolving conflicts between other people, but I wouldn't necessarily be the leader myself. Or I would do stuff on my own, like I want to do a plug of Mimiron hard mode before he gets nerfed to try to do it. And I swear to God, we almost did it, but almost isn't good enough. But it was the hardest part was just finding people willing to do it over and over for hours and hours and hours, because that's my sort of hard mode spirit coming out. Like, I don't mind wiping all day, but you have to have people in there to actually be able to wipe. Like, they wouldn't, you know, and their gear wouldn't be good enough. So, like, my guild tried it a little bit, and then they were like, we're done, dude. We're not doing this shit all day. We don't care. Let's just do it. And so you can't force them to do it. Even if you were the raid leader, they'd get pissed eventually. But my whole thing is like, oh, if you weren't so bad, we would have been able to do it. Then you wouldn't have to complain. But this guy did not drop it. The geek near the cold guy. And so let's just see what's in here. Okay, I genuinely am out of ideas. It's gonna be I'll take one lap back around out here and then I'll just leave. I'll maybe check the camps outside. There might just be another camp maybe that I missed, but it didn't really feel like it. I better just go around. I don't want to fuck with this area too much. Yeah, see, doesn't the whole multiplayer aspect make it feel too easy too? Like, or that's like the artificial oh shit, the artificial difficulty of group. Of group well, hey, I mean, I'll take it. Just pretend like that's an enemy versus an enemy kind of encounter. The way that I use the enemies against each other in other games so strategically, like Skyrim, I cause like a mammoth to fight a dragon if I'm not strong enough to kill it myself or something you know, whatever, if I want to avoid the encounter. And so basically the point is that, you know, there's artificial difficulty that anybody individually, what they're doing is not that impressive, but because you have to do it together as a group and everybody's a clown and one person will fuck up the whole thing, therefore it seems difficult, right? That's oftentimes what ends up happening. Backpedal your way to glory over here. So far we haven't had much trouble, not to jinx it, with the whole auto attacking, no ability Andy. Main difference would have just been the seals and the ability to heal and stuff, which you shouldn't need to do in combat anyway. But I feel like my damage value is not going to be enough later on, so I almost have to rely on better gear or something, which I might be able to get from a dungeon or otherwise. You know, you might say, oh, just look up the quest, but why would I do that either? I think I'm done with this place. Let's just... We could always come back. Like, I have to do every quest before I can leave the zone, let's say, but... doesn't mean when I have to do it exactly. This entryway to the one place in Valley of Trials, that cave, which name I even forget, is the site of one of my most viewed clips ever. 37K just for me saying a take that I said like 4 years ago that I was just rehashing, which was like, where the fuck could it be if it's not there? I don't get it. It would make so much sense if it was just inside of that. Whatever, we'll come back for it. Unless there's another troll encampment, which there probably could be. Like maybe they don't expect you to go in there yet. I'm overshooting. So it could be at the other camp, or let me see if there's another wolf or another troll thing over here. Yeah, that's why no matter what expansion you like the best out of WoW, some people say Wrath, some people say BC, you still have to give it up to Classic for the sheer originality of it, and also the fact that it introduced everything, you know what I mean? Like, sure, BC might have introduced a couple new abilities, but it didn't introduce all the abilities, like, and it might not seem that impressive, like, oh, the talent trees were imbalanced or this or that, but it doesn't matter because it's not about them being perfect. It's about, and not that they were ever balanced, it's about the sheer number. Like, they're introducing all the classes together. Whereas, like, oh, Wrath introduced one new class, and it was poorly balanced even at that, the Death Knight. Right? So there's a big difference between introducing 9 classes and introducing 1. So it's just like that level of whatever, just being ahead of their time is very impressive. There's nowhere else it could be besides between these two places. This is why the kind of fun of it too, like the puzzle solving element. If it wasn't in that cave, which it probably was, and maybe somebody else just kept taking it and it's despawned, which is fine, but at least if I could see that happening, it would have been a little more clear. So it was sad the way this other run ended, so I'd like this one to actually go the distance, but also I don't have nearly the time. But then again, I'll get from 1 to 25 without doing that. Like, I hope it stays at 25 for a while, so at least I have time to do it, and that's kind of the whole point. But I also don't know how often I'm going to do this. So we picked up one thing here, so it's the chest that we're looking for. I don't know where it is. Maybe there's just like another troll camp in the middle here, but I'm not really seeing it. And I don't want to keep doing this stuff over and over. Like, maybe the next quest will send me into that cave anyway, and then I can get it while I'm at it. There. There's no reason to force it. And then if I still don't find it, then I'll look around, I guess. Okay, that's actually an upgrade. Yeah, let's just go back. We'll turn in these 2 quests here. Or wait, what? Oh, I can't. I can't even do that quest because... I guess what I could do is I could do some of these quests in the battleground, and then Bubble Hearth my way out, or whatever, if I'm gonna die, and then fucking, you know, and then I would be able to do that, and then I wouldn't feel as bad in the dungeon, like, oh, haha, I don't have my abilities, I don't even know what I'm doing. So that's a great incentive, right? Because I normally would say, why would I want to play multiplayer stuff? First of all, it's dumb and it ruins the spirit of this, because again, you can either get carried or you can get held back, and like if I get killed in a BG, it doesn't feel very authentic or fair. It can just happen. Or if I get killed in a dungeon, right? The group wipe, the group suck. It's like my Paladin's permanent gauntlet. I'm not losing my characters because I'm bad. I'm losing because they're bad, Kappa. But still, it's a case where, you know, you don't want that to be the defining dynamic. And so it sort of forces me to feel like, oh, well, now I want to do multiplayer despite that, because that's my unlock condition for abilities. Not that I even unlock them overall, but just that I can use them there. It's kind of a cool thing. So let's see what we got here. Like, I guarantee you nobody's done that exact format, because even I didn't know what the fuck I was doing with it. Like, I didn't know that's where I would take it. So what was the one to turn in? Troll Cave must be one of those dudes at the camps, right? Yeah, Graylin guy.
What can I get?
So let's sell something. Cloth.
Up with you.
So that Libram is just going to be sitting in my inventory for a while. So presumably every class gets a quest like that at this exact point. It's a little bit confusing because it makes it seem like, oh no, only Paladins would, because they have Librams as a class mechanic, and everybody else would maybe get it later or in some other context, but
See you soon.
it's not. Or maybe this was something that was in vanilla and I just didn't know it because I never played a Paladin, but that makes no sense at all, because obviously this ability called Crusader Strike is not a real thing that exists in the game until fucking BC. And Paladins they almost overcompensated a bit. Paladins went from obviously the joke that they are in Classic, despite being good at healing or whatever, good at PvP and context, obviously with their cooldowns, but basically a joke overall, to now being really good, because in BC they were god tier. They were like the best tanks from what I remember. Like warriors were still good, druids were always kind of iffy, but what was I doing besides that? Oh no, I want to go turn this in. Does he give you any hints like where that is? My haste to get away. I lost all my personal. What does that have to do with this? The trolls don't have anything to do with Nomergon. They're like on the other side of the map. My bucket of bolts. They took them back to their camp southwest of Anvilmar. It must just be in one of the camps there, but I'll let the other guy give me the quest to like go in the cave there, and then I'm just kind of paranoid if I have to get up and do something or go AFK for a minute, I'm not able to do it because I feel like, you know, just in case, like maybe I'll somehow die here. I'm not gonna let any shit happen. That happened to me in Diablo Immortal, more like Diablo Immortal, like where I thought I was in a safe spot, so I AFK'd because that's also an always online game, mobile game, and I fucking died in that moment, which was totally not my fault. Hey Stars, how's it going? It's amazing my phone's actually stayed on this long. I'm not even charging it like I normally have to when I'm streaming. Don't like look at chat, but it's actually still up. Not to jinx it. But I don't even have my charger with me. Or I don't have like a free USB port to be able to do that. Okay, let's at least wrap this up with a nice little finishing of this area. And then I'll do my third category for the day, and then I'll do actually a fourth one too, because it'll be the PvZ little clown fiesta with the hard mode and the card game there. Hardcore gamer, by the way, playing fucking little mobile clicker game for soccer moms in Plants vs. Zombies. So let's see what we got here. Yeah, then I'll finish it off with some Fortnite. This is at least a good way to do it. I'll wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning and I'll stream from 2 to 10. And that'll be how I can do long streams now. The problem is I'll be fucking half asleep all day then. But somehow it just worked out this way this time. Did I have breakfast? Not yet. I don't know what I'll get for that. Probably just some frozen thing I have. That's not a good idea. Yeah, I normally don't like doing that, but... So where is this guy's stupid ass chest? Or no, I wanted to turn this thing in first. Not the first time I've said that. Where is this guy's stupid chest? Because I'm a thief, clearly, and not some other implication behind that. What's usually for breakfast? Usually something, I don't know, like a little frozen packet or something. Like, I don't really eat stuff with a lot of sugar in it, so it's like a frozen little sandwich that you have to let it thaw or something like that. But like, yeah, I don't eat like the really sugary pastry type stuff. Or I try not to anyway. So Graylin, again, after we brought him his mug and all this kind of stupid stuff, are those light blasted trolls. Light blasted? Is that because I'm a paladin that you're saying that? Or are you mocking the fact that I'm not blasted by the light? He takes a few breaths and seems to settle down a bit. That's such a random insult. A group of that, would you say a shadow blasted trolls if I was a warlock? I don't get it. A group of them came in the night and stole my journal. I knew better than to trust a good for nothing apprentice. But you can't even finish his sentence. You can use axes, but I forget when you learn it, where you learn it, whatever. I should know that for Alliance. It would make sense to be Ironforge. It could be maybe Storm. No. Stormwind should be. Wait, I forget. I really can't remember jack shit. This is better. 3 to 6, 2.1, 6 to 10. This is much better. You can get away with a lot of this shit in the early game because obviously it's just easy, but we're going to be auto attack Andy the whole way, so I wonder how much good that's going to do for me. You should have Wagmite Toast. What is it? Oh, Vegemite Toast. I don't know what exactly that is, but it doesn't sound good. You lost me a veg. The stolen journal. My journal, they took it away to the cave. The one that had it, it was a big brute with some odd markings on his skin and face. I didn't get much better look than that. Must just be the named NPC. You've had it. Yeah, like that's really specific. They all are kind of big brutes with stuff, but you've had some luck with the trolls. Maybe you can get it back for me. You get a shield, which there's no rule against me using a shield, obviously. Once you get killed, oh yeah, you didn't say his name there, so how do we just magically know his name? Or that could be like one of those uncover sort of mechanics you could do in a game like this. You only know his name because you've been in there and you've seen him. Otherwise, it would say kill question mark, which means you would have to find him yourself and figure out. You know what I mean? Like, you're sort of doing it from context. What game did that, actually? There was some game like that where it would leave everything ambiguous, but if you knew it, you could fill it in, or you could like get a new dialogue option to say, oh, you mean this guy? The Elder Scrolls games can kind of be like that sometimes. So it would be like, go kill this guy, and it, like, oh, I already did, and it's like it would still give you credit for the quest because you already picked up his item or something. It's awesome. I don't know what it is. I've never had it. My diet habits are not exactly the greatest, or at least not the most versatile. I should. Okay, maybe I'll try it. He wants me to try so many different food items. I should be able to take these two together even if they do aggro together. But there's no reason why I should want that to happen. The problem is I don't have any escape option. I'm almost as vulnerable in this playthrough as I am in Ark Survival Evolved. I don't have any escape options, basically. Oh, there it is. See, this is what happens, dude. This is what happens, is they take it and then it's gone. Are you serious? Okay, at least we know now. So then you could be wandering around forever thinking, oh, it's just somewhere else, or oh, I just didn't come across it. Have you been to Walmart yet? It should be there. What, the Vegemite Toast or that other thing, the chocolate drink, which name I keeps forgetting? Starts with an M. I guess it didn't take too long for it to respawn. Okay, so we did this one. Maybe I should turn it in because then he'll give me another quest related to this cave too. Oh, they also stole something else in the cave. And they left it in the cave. Somehow I just know that. To Felix Winnable. Oh, but I'd have to go all the way back. Whatever, let's just do this. We have to kill the geek near the cold guy. We won't be able to do the other class. We should be pretty much done with this area. My classic level 6 run in the starting zone. Milo, right? You gotta watch out for the respawns. This is gonna be a little bit tricky. My weapon be thirsty. I love that whole implication of, like, you know, classes that normally would want to dual wield using like a rogue, obviously most notably, using just a one-hander from level 1 to 10. Like, that's the shittiest thing ever. Like, everybody has clipped wings, I guess you could say, like a hunter with clipped wings who couldn't even use a range, like in my playthrough. But more deeply than that, it's like fucking respawns. It's like you don't get your pet to level 10, so there's so many unlocked things. What does a paladin get at level 10 that really matters? Nothing really. Or even like a warrior, you know, you start to get your stances and stuff, but so what? It doesn't really matter. Like some classes just don't really feel like they miss out as much as others. Hunters miss out majorly because the whole way you're trying to play is to hide behind your pet like a pussy. I should know, even though I didn't play that one like that. Or, you know, I don't know, like druids get a form. Like it's a way bigger deal. Like, wow, as a paladin, what do you get at level 10? Nothing. As a druid, you'd get a, you know, you get bear form or you get some crazy shit. I could be actually wrong about some of this stuff. I don't even remember. Or like, how should I know that? Because I never played those classes. But just from, I genuinely have forgotten so much about WoW. But presumably you get like bear form at level 10, cat form at level 20, travel form at level 30, I think. Something like that. So here we just have to kill the guy on the one side. I have to be careful not to aggro too many of these clowns. It's actually a weird, like the old expression, I need waypoints or arrows to tell me where not to go, because it'll say, oh, the objective is over here, like in a single player game or something. So I want to make sure I go everywhere else first so I don't miss out on the stuff if I do advance the story by going to the objective. Here it's like a similar opposite interpretation notion. Like, I like to see the enemies here so that I know they're not going to respawn, right? It scares me when there's no enemies, because that means I might go past and fight this guy and then something will respawn behind me. So it actually gives me a sense of comfort that there are enemies there rather than if there weren't. So it's a weird reverse psychology kind of thing. You can buy it at East. Okay. I imagine you could buy it probably anywhere, but go here. I swear I've never seen that stuff though, the Milo. I mean, maybe they haven't, but yeah, like, what would a dwarf say? I'm gonna make you into a liquor and I'm gonna drink you up. I'm gonna drink you under the table like Kobe Bryant drank Jason Derulo, like whatever that stupid ass expression is, to drink somebody under the table. That'll be the best insult ever. It just means like you outdrink somebody. Obviously, like you hold your liquor better than they do or something, but yeah, that's my role play fetish. Like, I love when my girlfriend gets me drunk and then takes advantage of me. Like, wow, dude, she drank me under the table all night long. Such fucking stupid phraseology behind some of these things. And it was literally in one of the first quest texts in this game of, I don't know what you're talking about. I guess it's probably better that way. Which Walmart? I'm pretty sure it's not that one. Like, have you ever heard that expression? Somebody drank somebody under the table. Doesn't that just sound like an innuendo or something weird? Nope. I never knew what it meant either until this game actually taught me that. Because I had heard the term before, but I never knew what it meant. Now, it is actually going to be pretty hard to kill this guy because, you know, you're going to have to fight like 2 at once, so I'm not even sure how to do that. Could be very scary, especially if I don't have a clean way to get out, so I could just die here. Or we could plan it so that we level up. Oh, look at this. So we use the Grotus strategy, 1,000-year door. You fight Bowser and then Grotus back to back. So you make sure that Bowser levels you up so that when you go into the Grotus fight, you leveled up and fully healed. So for example here, now that Pat's gonna fuck me over too. You make sure that you're 1 tick away, which we almost are, so that when we kill the first thing, we'll level up, and then we'll be at full health for the next thing. For the next guy. Just to be extra safe. Not that I even need it, but it kind of fits. So let me kill a couple more things, and then something will respawn and fucking kill me too. So these things are giving approximately how much experience? Like 56. So if I kill 2 more, it should do it. Or maybe 3 more. I don't know. Fuck. Not in this much time, it's gonna fuck all the way out. Because they almost seem guaranteed to aggro together. Uh-oh. He's like looking right at me, but he doesn't want to aggro. I don't like this situation, dude. I don't like it. Fuck. Now I'm gonna waste too much time, though. Let me try to fight them from the other side. Dude, I had 2... Can't really read my chat too well. Hang on. I had 2 cruisers like a week ago. I know it's not great, but still. Oh, you've had alcohol once? Yeah, but I guess it doesn't mean you have to drink to know the term. I just don't even know like what it means. Or I didn't know. It just means like you outdrink somebody, like whatever. Like the way that you got outdrank in that, whatever. A night in Winterhold or whatever. Or what is it? A night to remember in Skyrim. That guy drinks you under the table in that game. So it still won't be. You need one more. Fucking stupid. It's gonna be a disaster. This is the best strategic way to guarantee your safety. But then now you're talking about min-maxing. Like, look at this, dude. Look at what I'm about to do. But it's taking me too long, so it's gonna get me in trouble. I have to make sure I don't kill anything on the way back, which might be hard to prevent, and then I can kill that guy. Oh, please. Now we're gonna ignore the respawns at my own peril, too. Because it's been a while. This is the worst thing you can do sometimes, is just wait. Now I almost want to show this off by fighting them both together. Or maybe he wouldn't have aggroed, or maybe I could take them anyway, but... Oh, no, don't heal. Don't heal him. That should definitely level me up, though, based on what we're seeing. Or maybe he's a lower level, so he won't. Oh, perfect. Look at that. Beautiful. You better capture the screen for that god tier strategizing play. This is the kind of shit that you have to do, like... In a solo experience especially, just... What? What is that? That's not even a respawn. That's like a... Literally, he onked. He literally onked. This dude's a shaman. It's the same one. That's not even fair at all. And now we're gonna get killed by another pad or something. Yeah, we have a whole army to come. That's... What the fuck? We have an army to come to save us, because that's such bullshit. The counteracting the nature of the game. We literally have like the Justice Warriors of Azeroth saying like, this guy's about to die in his permadeath run because of immediate respawns, so we have to save him. Literally the Knights of Honor in Azeroth come to my rescue. That is such fucking bullshit, though. I did it perfectly and I would have still probably died. So they're arguing that could invalidate the run because they saved me. What you should really do there is pull the thing back. Like, but no, I don't know why sometimes that happens where they respawn immediately. Roughly what time do you get off work? You don't have to answer. I don't even know, though. It depends, like, what I'm doing that day. It's a very flexible kind of schedule. That kind of ruins the run, though, because they kind of saved my dumbass. I could have probably run away. I mean, I don't see why not. That's so dumb, though. Why does it do that? I know some things will tend to respawn very quickly to give other people a chance to kill them and stuff, but it doesn't have to be that quick. I was even worried about the other things respawning in the room, but like the very thing I just killed just respawned. Like, what is that about? The two forces of the world will balance each other out, just like light and darkness. Right, bring balance to the force. So as soon as you're in trouble like that, you literally have like fucking 3 people come in trying to help you because you know that something is wrong. It's like a mechanic. It's not right to die like that. Wonderful, many thanks for retrieving my notebook. Well, it would seem that the troll situation here in Coldridge Valley is under control and not much cause for worry. I don't know if I want to use a shield or not. After I put my finishing touches on my report, I'll need someone to courier it to my brother Senir. Oh yeah, someone. I wonder who that's going to be. Senir's observation. I was planning on sending my apprentice to my brother Senir with my report. I feel much better to place it in your hands. That is, of course, if you wouldn't mind. You'll have to take the tunnel to get to Keranos. Speak to the mountaineer Thalos before going to the tunnel. It's completely infested with Trollocs now. Follow the road back to Envilmar, then keep heading east in the tunnel. He's stationed nearby. Is that him who did it or no? Fuck. We should be done with the quest here. Let's just turn this one in on the way back. And I could either rest in Keranos or I could rest here. I'd rather rest here actually though, because I want to feel like we're taking advantage of the location. But maybe maybe I shouldn't be allowed to do that. I don't know. If there's like some other building on the way, maybe I'll do that. I don't know how much time I'm going to spend in Keranos. You should totally be allowed to do this. And I think I did, didn't I? Or no, I even gave myself a freebie too with the troll. You don't even have to rest inside of a building. Although you can, because it's not like it's It's not going to give you rest here, so that's the one exception. You can like rest by the campfire or something. But the starting zone should have that much of a benefit. Jokes for you, brought to you by Snapchat. What? Snapchat AI? Any level 12 hunters want Bjarn the Bear. That's what's sad about some of this. I wouldn't even know if something is like new content or whatever. Maybe that guy wasn't in the original game, but just like I wouldn't know because I don't know some of these areas super well. Despite playing Alliance so much, I didn't play obviously Dwarves specifically. That shows you even someone so experienced in the game is not going to know every little thing about it. Oh goodness, this town is not well suited for the likes of me. There's many nasty creatures here as there were in Nomergon before the accident. Do you have my belongings? If you don't, then who knows what the trolls have done to them.
You have a great day now.
Huzzah, you found them. You're an absolute savior, my friend. Here, it's not much, but something to get you for all the trouble I put you through. 50 copper. We literally got the same amount for simply walking like 10 feet and bringing somebody's mail from one person to another, right? Like the Grayling guy. So, I'm not saying anything about gnomes, but they could be a little stingy, maybe. Analogize it to some perception, some stereotype that I'm not reinforcing about a real life group of people. Is it maybe that they're supposed to be based on? I don't fucking know, dude. Speak with the mountaineer. Don't have to worry about that. And this is all okay. I'll keep a shield just in case I want to use a one-hander at some point here. Or I'll get like a one-hander that's better than my two-hander, and then, you know, there's no reason not to use the shield, basically. I don't really care about spells or anything yet, so I should have a surplus of money because of that. Yeah, I should arguably be allowed to use stone form and professions and stuff. So I arguably might have died there, though. Actually, I'll even say it. If those guys didn't come and help. Or, I mean, again, worst case, I would have run away, and it probably would have been fine. Oh, he wants you to talk to this guy first. I thought he's like, just go and see my brother.
What's on your mind?
Hail, have care. The tunnel to Dunmore is infested with trolls and is not safe for travel. Even though he was just saying, oh no, I guess the trolls. He was saying it's not that big of a deal. If you haven't any pressing business in Dunmore, I'll have to ask you to remain in Anvilmar until it's safer.
Be good.
Talk about a gatekeeper. Almost as bad as the community itself. Like how you just can't play the game. You got to do it in a very specific way. And fake elitism and half-masked clowns trying to act like they've actually done something so they can talk shit. If Whitebeard's sending you to Dunmore on important business, I can't well stop you. At least let me provide you with some advice and directions. The Trunks in the tunnel, yeah, average gatekeeper. He wants to at least give you advice and act smarter than you. So, okay, fine, I'll let you go through and I won't gatekeep you, but then I'll try to fucking hindsight bias and act like, haha, I know more than you and go do things the exact way that I tell you to, so I seem smarter than you. But one of the primary forms of content out there. Which is why some people speculate that the reason why like some streamers like XQC or Forsen or somebody might act dumb is just to bait out people trying to tell them what to do, or just because it's funny. Why did the mag... I can't even read. Why did the mag bring a ladder to the raid? Mage bring a ladder to the raid. They heard the boss was a real high level encounter. Good one. But why does it have to be a mage then? And why couldn't the mage just conjure one? Like in the context of this game, you can conjure everything else. Like biscuits and fucking food. You're like a vending machine. Directions, if you're going to speak. The Trunks in the tunnel are extremely hostile and haven't shown any hesitation in attacking travelers throughout the tunnel. You seem to be tough enough though, so you probably should be safe. Directions, if you're going to speak with Tenir, you'll find him in Keranos. Make your way through the tunnel, and after you come out the other side, just keep following the road. Just follow the road. It'll run into Keranos.
Keep your feet on the ground.
Okay. How am I supposed to walk then if I keep my feet on the ground, though? What am I supposed to do? Just slide? You know, like this could be technically a resting spot. Normally, I don't count stuff like that, but I almost don't want to. Whatever. I guess we could just do Keranos. Supplies to Tenok. Hey, you look like a hardy adventurer. If you're planning on braving the pass, you suppose you could bring a package to the inn in Keranos. You were planning on stopping at the inn, right? If you make it through the pass, you'll definitely want to take a breather there. Anyways, bring this to Tanik Frosthammer, the innkeeper's assistant. I can't get through the pass myself. And it'll be days until a mountaineer escort comes through. Literally fucking days. Yeah, this seems like an okay spot, I guess. Right, this should count as like a little whatever. And the point is, it's basically the same as, you know, resting in just the starting spot, which should be allowable for the first time, I guess. But normally it has to be like a house or something, or maybe the equivalent of a house for a dwarf is like a fucking little tent like this. Is the best that they can muster. And of course the time is even wrong here. It says 5:42, but it's actually 7:42 for me. This is like some other, what is it? Some other time zone, sure. That was a good session. We get to level 6. We commit to having no abilities, except in group settings, which I'm going to specify a little more clearly. But basically, we do a battleground. Those will be the only two, because I'm not going to group in the world, really. So pretend like it's hardcore, but you're just adding the Season of Discovery to it. But then you're also making your own format character class to it. So then if I'm in a dungeon doing dead mines, I can use my abilities. If I'm in a BG like Warsun Gulch or something, I can use my abilities. But I still can't die, so I have to use them to escape, like use Lay on Hands and Bubble and stuff. But other than that, I'm only allowed to auto attack, which is all obviously that I was doing there.